It's Wednesday, April 22. In the headlines, the police forced to receive 1,500 more e-ticketing devices in line with major tech upgrade. In business news, consumer confidence up, business confidence down. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago launches AI learning platform for maths and English. And in sports, Reggae Girls set for quarterfinal clash with Costa Rica in CONCACAF Championship. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is set to receive an additional 1,500 e-ticketing devices, bringing its total to 10,000. This as the government accelerates the force's transition to digital traffic enforcement and expands surveillance and accountability measures. Opening the 2026-2027 sectoral debate, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang said the move forms a part of a broader push to modernize policing through technology, including the rollout of the Ticket Information Management System.
That will mean total replacement of hard copy activities and place the JCF closer to full transition to digital ticketing.
He also gave an update on the expansion of the Jamaica AI CCTV network, noting that plans to add 3,000 cameras are in force.
We're looking at a target of 3,000 cameras over time, but we are not quite there. We'll be acquiring additional one this year, and we will complete that process by the 28th budget year.
Dr. Chang says Jamaicans can look forward to increased use of body-worn cameras to improve transparency and operational efficiency.
But deployment is decided by the Commissioner of Police. Body-worn cameras are part of modern police equipment, and the only person who has the authority and the professional capacity to instruct where they should go is the Commissioner of Police as a team.
Opposition spokesman on energy, Philip Paulwell, is calling on the government to clarify how long the state-owned refinery, Petrojam, has been operating under a fuel price cap, raising concerns about transparency and financial losses. Speaking during the 2026-2027 sectoral debate, Paulwell criticized the policy as, quote, tampering, end quote, with the refinery's pricing mechanism.
Rather than tampering with the pricing mechanism, I think you can provide consumers with some benefits because the government is making a windfall in the taxes now being generated by fuels.
Energy Minister Darrell Vaz had earlier disclosed that a $4.50 price cap was implemented to shield consumers from rising oil prices amid tensions in the Middle East. However, he warned that maintaining the cap could result in losses.
Because Petrojam has lost $4 million in the year 2020, $4 billion in the year ending 2025, another $4 billion in the year ending March 2026, and they're likely to lose a lot more.
Mr. Paulwell contends that if the government intends to ease the burden on consumers, it should instead adjust fuel taxes rather than place financial strain on the refinery. He is also urging the minister to provide Parliament with a comprehensive update on Petrojam's operations and a clear plan to restore profitability. The push to digitize records in Jamaica's education system is gaining momentum, with Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Dr. Kasana Troop, calling on public sector workers to treat records and information management as a national priority. Her latest remarks build on concerns raised after Hurricane Melissa exposed gaps in student data and record storage. Dr. Troop was speaking during a Records and Information Management Month activity at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel recently. Denida Rodney has more in this report.
Dr. Troop says the government's Records and Information Management RIM program is critical to building a modern digital and connected public service. She stressed that preserving and protecting data is essential to making informed decisions and improving service delivery across ministries, departments, and schools.
It reminds us that an increasingly digital and interconnected public service, we will need to improve on our RIM management practices. Records information management practices are key to sustaining the future. You've just seen the video. We have to archive our history. We have to make sure that it is accessible, and when people need the information, it's available to make informed decisions.
The Permanent Secretary again referenced the difficulties schools face locating students after the passage of Hurricane Melissa, saying the experience has accelerated the move toward digital systems.
We can relate to what has happened in our schools, the difficulties we faced in identifying where our students are subsequent to the passage of the hurricane. Our principals would say to us, we don't have the addresses because the files have been damaged. And so it has forced us to move expeditiously into the digitization of our records and, of course, rolling out the information management systems at the tertiary level and at the secondary, primary, and infant school level. So critical at this time.
Dr. Troop says strong records management is also key to preserving institutional memory and ensuring continuity within schools and ministries.
So effective records and information management remains foundational and fundamental to good governance. It strengthens accountability and transparency, supports timely and evidence-based decision-making, preserves institutional memory, and improves the efficiency and quality of public service delivery.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping market, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. Jamaica's consumer confidence grew by just under 6% during the first 3 months of the year, while business confidence declined by some 4.5% over the same period. These figures were reported during the first quarter release event hosted by the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce and GK Capital Management at the Terra Nova All Suite Hotel in Kingston. Data presented by Don Anderson, Executive Chairman of Market Research Services Limited, indicated that the computation of this top-line index is informed by perceptions of current and future business conditions, current and future job prospects, and personal income expectations. The most notable change occurred in labor market expectations, where consumers demonstrated improved confidence in job prospects. On the other hand, business confidence continued to trend downwards. In practical terms, firms were entering the first quarter of 2026 with heightened caution about future economic conditions, which may translate into more conservative decisions around investment, hiring, and expansion until there is clearer evidence of stabilization and recovery. Heads of businesses consistently highlighted concerns about the pending war and expectations of same on business outlook. President of the Incorporated Master Builders Association, Richard Mullings, told RJR News that stronger planning and less bureaucracy are critical to reducing the impact of infrastructure challenges on productivity and foreign exchange earnings. Mullings argues that lengthy delays between conceptualization and execution of projects often result in conditions on the ground changing significantly, forcing projects to be rescoped and causing further delays. He also pointed to late payments from the government to contractors as a major issue, noting that this leads to cost overruns, project setbacks, and inconvenience to the public. According to him, these delays contribute to prolonged traffic congestion, resulting in lost productive time and foreign exchange losses. For the trading period of April 21, 2026, the most actively traded securities were JMMB Group Limited 9.5% with 18,414,280 units, representing 35.36% of market sales activities. Jamaica Highway Limited US dollar shares with 12,060,280 units, representing 23.16% of market sales activities. Woodcats International Limited with 4,996,605 units, representing 9.59% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in finance, transportation, and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market, based on Bank of Jamaica data for April 21, 2026, foreign traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. The US dollar had trading margins reflecting steady liquidity, with the US selling at $156.97 and buying at $158.93. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by $1.96 transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $116.78 and was bought for $115.19. In the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $1.46 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $212.71 and was bought for $211.25. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, for businesses looking for government contracts to fund their business, many procurement processes include financial due diligence. This can be very explicit through required disclosures or indirect via background checks and third-party verification. Your credit report often feeds into these evaluations. Even if it's not formally requested, lenders, bonding companies, and partners involved in your bid will assess it. If your financial profile doesn't meet their standards, you may never make it to the final decision phase. If your goal is to attract higher value clients, your credit strategy needs to be intentional. Pay obligations on time. Consistency matters more than perfection. Keep credit utilization low to demonstrate control over cash flow. Build relationships with financial institutions before you need them. Regularly review your credit report for accuracy and gaps. Separate personal and business credit to strengthen your professional profile. In our funded and focused feature, for women in the diaspora, keeping their Caribbean connections means that trust can open doors, but bias against women business owners can still show up. Working with people who share your culture can build trust faster. That trust can help you find funding and support. But it is also true that bias still exists in funding systems even when your networks grow. So this means connections help, but they're not the full solution. Strong systems are still needed to make things fair. Support is not just motivation, it is access. You need mentors who have already built businesses across countries, connectors who can introduce you to buyers, partners, and investors. Peer groups of women doing similar work in the Caribbean, the US, Canada, or the UK. So research from Women Entrepreneur Knowledge Hub shows women grow faster when they have strong networks and mentorship. So the goal is to be in rooms where decisions are made, not just discussed. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you clarity to capital markets and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, in Trinidad and Tobago, the Ministry of Education has unveiled a new AI math and English resource platform for secondary school students, a move that aims to ease learning, expand access, and empower the next generation through artificial intelligence. At Tuesday's launch of the AI Math and English Resource Platform, Minister of Culture and Community Development and Member of Parliament Michelle Benjamin emphasized that the initiative will ease financial burdens for parents while providing physical relief for students. TTT News has the story.
When September comes, parents no longer have to rush to purchase books. It will also ease the physical burden on students having to tote these heavy books.
This was the promise made by Minister of Culture and Community Development and Member of Parliament for Moruga Tableland Michelle Benjamin, who at Tuesday's launch of the AI Math and English Resource Platform, hosted by the Ministry of Education, emphasized that the initiative will ease financial burdens for parents while providing physical relief for students. She also outlined several other key initiatives her ministry plans on implementing within the Moruga constituency.
I'm working tirelessly to get programs like YTEP and NESC back into the constituency of Moruga Tableland. That is my commitment to my students. I see you and I want the best for you.
Also speaking at the launch, Minister of Education Dr. Michael Dowlath highlighted special features of the tool, including on- and offline learning, an avatar to assist with academic work, and 2 digital textbooks aligned with the national curriculum, ensuring students and parents know exactly which topics must be covered from Form 1 to Form 5.
By the end of this academic year, by the end of this term, we added 4 more digital books. Science, IT, Information Technology, Social Studies, and Spanish. And by August of this year, students, when you go into Form 2, we will have those 6 books ready for you at the Form 2 level.
Ensuring that no child is left behind, the Education Minister added that the platform will also cater to students with learning disabilities.
We are working with those organizations that support the visual and the hearing impaired. And so all of our programs, all of the digital books will be used by students who have those learning challenges.
Minister Dowlath noted that with the introduction of these tools, parents of Form 1 and Form 2 students will save between $1,000 to $1,500, which would otherwise be spent on textbooks in the next academic year. Students and parents were also encouraged to make full use of the learning platform.
Concerns are being raised about discrimination and limited job opportunities for persons with disabilities in Grenada, as stakeholders warn that policy commitments are not translating into real change. The issue was highlighted on Beyond the Headlines on the Grenada Broadcasting Network, where advocates and international partners pointed to a gap between legislation and implementation. More than a decade after the country ratified key disability rights agreements.
Non-discrimination. We just had that situation with ABIL, which shows a high level of discrimination here in our country.
The issue of access and employment opportunities for persons with disabilities was further examined on GBN's Beyond the Headlines Monday evening, where stakeholders highlighted a continued gap between disability policy and real implementation in Grenada. Michelle Brathwaite, president of Advocacy Grenada, raised concerns about limited progress on reporting and obligations under the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, despite Grenada's ratification since 2014.
Grenada has never presented a report on this to the committee in relation to persons with disabilities in Grenada. So we ratify, but that is as far.
You sign on to a convention.
You sign and then you ratify, which means
it becomes local law.
Which means now that you now out of that have to develop your disability policy.
Advocate John Rollo, himself a person with a disability, said key support systems under the convention are still not fully in place, affecting inclusion.
Over the years, we have had people wasting time and the people's money, posing as representatives of the people with disabilities in Grenada, doing nothing. We are not even quite clear on the total number of people suffering with disability. The convention orders or instructs or advises, should I say, that we should document, assess, categorize these people.
Director of the International Labour Organization's Caribbean Office, Dr. Joni Mustabayano, said focus must shift from policy commitments to practical workplace inclusion, including accessibility and tools for persons with disabilities.
I have to acknowledge that in the Grenada case, we have the Employment Act, which talks about non-discrimination and inclusion. But we are not yet at the point where we have a national workplace policy on people living with disability and inclusion of disability. So even at the policy level that Rena was talking about, we are not yet at the global standard.
Stakeholders agree that while policy frameworks exist, the real challenge lies in moving from commitment to implementation, ensuring inclusion becomes lived reality, not just policy on paper. GBN News will continue to follow this conversation in the hope that we can meaningfully contribute to the removal of barriers to access for persons with disabilities. Eugenia Peters, GBN News.
In sports, we feature football. Jamaica's Reggae Girls are set to face Costa Rica in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Women's Championship on November 27, with a spot in the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup at stake. The draw, conducted on Tuesday, paired 4th-ranked Jamaica Women's National Football Team with 5th-ranked Costa Rica Women's National Football Team. The match will be played at Texas Health Mansfield Stadium in Texas. The tournament quarterfinal winners will secure qualification at the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, which will be hosted in Brazil. In other matchups, top-ranked United States Women's National Football Team will face El Salvador, while Canada Women's National Football Team will take on Panama. 3rd-ranked Mexico Women's National Football Team will meet Haiti. The 4 winners will advance to the semi-finals and automatically qualify for the World Cup, heightening the stakes for all teams involved. Over to cricket, as a legendary West Indies cricketer Chris Gayle has been named co-owner of a Glasgow-based franchise in the inaugural European T20 Premier League. According to a BBC report, Gayle has partnered with Mugafi Group to establish the team, which will compete as the Glasgow Mugafians. Mr. Gayle, one of cricket's most recognizable figures, represented the West Indies in 103 tests, 301 one-day internationals, and 79 T20 internationals between 1999 and 2021. He described the move into franchise ownership as an exciting new chapter and expressed enthusiasm about developing cricket in Europe. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you for watching.